Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Hope you're doing really well. Today we've got round 2 of the greatest designer fragrance for fall and autumn of all time. Round 1 is in the books. The votes have been tallied. We've got some winners, we've got some losers. Lots to talk about. Let's jump into it. In case you guys need a refresher or you missed the first video, let me give you a quick breakdown of how this went. I've got a Facebook group with 52,000 some odd people on it. I made a poll on that group. I left the poll blank. I just asked, what is, in your opinion, the greatest fall fragrance for men, designer-wise, of all time? And a lot of you out there added what fragrances you thought were the greatest, and then you voted. And I took the top 8 based off of how many votes they got and seeded them in this tournament. So the number 1 seed is the fragrance that got the most votes from you. The number 8 is the one that got the 8th most votes, and it was set up tournament style. So number 1 seed against number 8, number 2 against number 7, and so on. So here's how it shook out in terms of the seeding. Number 1 was Dolce & Gabbana's The One Eau de Parfum. That went up against Prada Luna Rossa Black, which was the number 8 seed. The number 2 seed was La Nuit de l'Homme from Yves Saint Laurent. That went up against number 7 Pure Malt from Mugler. The number 3 seed was Spice Bomb Extreme by Viktor and Rolf. That went up against the number 6 seed Dior Homme Intense. And then the number 4 seed Valentino Uomo Intense went up against the number 5 seed Pure Havane by Mugler. So that's how this one was set up. Technically, it's the number 1 and the number 8, then the number 5 and the number 4, and then in the other bracket, the other 2 matchups. So just so we're keeping everything straight, and there's a little graphic on here anyway that can show you what I'm talking about in case it's slightly confusing, but it's pretty straightforward. So in the last video, I gave you guys those matchups. Again, I had nothing to do with the voting. That was all the Facebook group. And then I put up on my community tab on my YouTube page each one of those matchups and had you all vote for which ones you thought should win. And we're going over that in this video today. I didn't go over any of the fragrances that I thought should be moving on. I left that completely up to you guys, but we will talk a little bit about the results here and I'll give you some of my opinions as well. Let's start with the number 1 seed, Dolce & Gabbana's The One Eau de Parfum, which went up against the number 8 seed, Prada Luna Rossa Black. Obviously, Luna Rossa Black, big underdog here because it is, after all, the number 8 seed going against the number 1 seed and did not pull off the upset. Nah. The One Eau de Parfum took this one really easily. 70% of the votes compared to 30% for Luna Rossa Black, and there were roughly 4,600 votes cast. That means a lot of you guys out there did not cast a vote. You're slacking. You need to vote in this round. Come on. This one to me, not a surprise at all. This one, I was 99% sure the One Eau de Parfum was going to win. Now, between the 2 fragrances, if you ask me which one I would rather wear, more often than not, I'd rather wear Luna Rossa Black, personally, over the One Eau de Parfum. The One Eau de Parfum is a modern classic, smells great, big compliment puller, great date night fragrance, but it is, for me, slightly played out. I wore the original, the One Eau de Toilette, a bunch when that came out. So Luna Rossa Black to me, just a little more interesting, but I was, like I said, really sure how this one would turn out. And that's because the One Eau de Parfum is such a huge release. So many people love it. Guys love it, girls love it, grandmas love it, grandpas love it, little brothers love it, your cousin loves it, your ex-girlfriend loves it, your ex-boyfriend loves it, whatever, your coworker, everybody seems to love it. So not a big surprise to see it moving on. Is it going to be able to be overthrown by one of the other fragrances? Maybe. But for now, moving on to the semifinals. And it's going to be taking on the winner of the number 5 against the number 4 seed. So that was number 5, Pure Havane, going up against number 4, Valentino Uomo Intense. And this one was a bit closer. Now, interestingly enough, this matchup got the smallest number of votes. It got 4,100. All the other matchups got 4,600 roughly. So for some reason, This one pulled about 500 fewer votes. And the winner of this matchup, by a score of 58% of the vote versus 42%, was Pure Havane, the number 5 seed. So this one is an upset, even though it's a pretty small upset, number 5 against number 4. Between these two, Pure Havane and Valentino Uomo Intense, for me, I'd pick Pure Havane. Pure Havane has been kind of a weapon of mine, if you want to call it that, for years. I was gonna say secret weapon, but it's not really all that secret, but it's a fragrance that I have used extensively. I've worn it to the office, I've worn it on dates, I've worn it casually. It works so well in fall. So no problem at all from me with Pure Havane moving on, though Valentino Uomo Intense, also a great fragrance. Actually, all 8 of the fragrances here are very, very solid. There's a reason they receive so many votes. So there's your first matchup of the semifinals, the 1 Eau de Parfum against Pure Havane. Right after this video goes live, I'm gonna put a poll on the community tab of my YouTube page. Go there and vote for who you think should win and move on to the finals. The 1 Eau de Parfum, Pure Havane. And we give a send-off to Luna Rossa Black and Valentino Uomo Intense. Great fragrances, but they didn't move on. So that semifinal matchup is set. Next up, let's look at how number 3, Spice Bomb Extreme, fared against number 6, Dior Homme Intense. 4,600 votes were cast in this one as well. And actually, this one was very close for a while. It was 50-50 and then 51-49, and then it would swing back the other way, 52-48, but it stayed really close for quite a while until one of them pulled away. And ultimately, the fragrance that did pull away and won with 58% of the vote against 42% was Spice Bomb Extreme, defeating Dior Homme Intense. So interestingly enough, the same splits as with Pure Havane and Valentino Uomo Intense, 58-42 and then 58-42 again. This one for me is tough. It's tough. Spice Bomb Extreme is fantastic, in my opinion, an improvement over the original Spice Bomb. Big attention grabber, great compliment puller. People absolutely love Spice Bomb Extreme, but for me, would have been Dior Homme Intense. If I was the one making the call. I have a thing for Dior Homme Intense, just putting that out there. I've talked about it before. I think it's one of the best smelling designer fragrances maybe ever. For me, personally, I just freaking love the way it smells. Now, Spice Bomb Extreme does have more casual appeal. It's got more versatility. So those are both things that are probably playing into this, but just based off the scent alone and my own personal taste, I would have taken Dior Homme Intense. All that said though, Spice Bomb Extreme is awesome, so I'm not gonna complain. And that's gonna go up against the winner of the next matchup, number 7, Pure Malt, against number 2, La Nuit de l'Homme. This one was not that close. It was 70% for the winner, 30% for the loser. La Nuit de l'Homme won. And interestingly enough, the exact same split as the 1 Eau de Parfum against Luna Rossa Black, 70-30. Again, 4,600 votes cast. It's almost like every vote that was cast, the people that voted picked the exact same things. You know, the people that voted for La Nuit de l'Homme also voted for the 1 Eau de Parfum, and that's how you ended up 70-30, or that's kind of how it seems. This one for me, a little bit of a toss-up. I really love Pure Malt. La Nuit de l'Homme though, an absolute modern classic, huge compliment puller, great date night fragrance, kind of like the 1 Eau de Parfum, and that's probably one of the reasons that the 1 Eau de Parfum was the 1 seed and La Nuit de l'Homme was the 2 seed. They both excel so much as far as just overall likability. So this one for me is sort of a toss-up. I think between all the other matchups and this one's the most difficult for me to give you an answer as to which one I would pick. It's probably just dependent on what mood I was in the day that I made the vote. For you guys though, it was an obvious winner, La Nuit de l'Homme, moving on, and that sets the second semifinal matchup at number 3, Spice Bomb Extreme, going up against number 2, La Nuit de l'Homme. Again, right after this video goes live, go ahead and check the community tab of the page and place your votes. The 1 Eau de Parfum against Pure Havane, pretty big underdog in Pure Havane. Can it overcome the 1 Eau de Parfum? Guess we're gonna find out. And then the second matchup, I think, is going to be really close. Splash Bomb Extreme, La Nuit de l'Homme. Big matchup there. The winners of those will move on to the finals. I'm gonna leave the voting up for about 1 week from the time this video goes live. So now I toss it back over to you guys. It is in your hands. Go ahead and vote, choose who moves on to the finals, and then at least for 2020, we'll have the greatest fall designer fragrance of all time decided, at least as far as this battle series goes. Maybe we'll do this each year and the winner can be inducted into the Fall Fragrance Hall of Fame or something like that. That way you can't just keep winning year over year, and we'll do it again next year. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for me. Make sure you go vote. As always, thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for all your support, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.